Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and learningtomix.com and here on my YouTube channel. And today we're doing another episode of Questions and Coffee with David. This is episode, I believe, number 28. This is where I'm up bright and early in the morning, and before I head down into the studio, I'm answering your questions that come in over Facebook, YouTube, and through email. So I appreciate everybody sending in their questions, and I try to answer them for you in video format. So if you want one of your questions answered in an upcoming episode, please send it to info@homerecordingmadeeasy.com. That's info@homerecordingmadeeasy.com, and I'll be sure to get it to you or get your question answered in a future video. So this episode we have 3 questions we're going to take a look at, and I'm going to try to answer for you. But before we get to that, if you like what you see in this video, hit that subscribe button below. It helps me out tremendously. Also go out to facebook.com/homerecordingmadeeasy and follow me there, and for more tips, tricks, concepts, and training around all aspects of home recording, mixing, and mastering, be sure to go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Check out all the free content I have there. Sign up for the VIP email list, and you will get 5 free training courses delivered directly to your inbox, free of charge. And check out the Made Easy series as well as the Quick Mix series. So now let's head on over to question number 1. Okay, question number 1 comes in on YouTube from B. Ramirez. I hope I'm saying that right, B. And they ask, I have a quick question. I'm thinking of upgrading my home studio equipment, and I want to buy a Presonus Studio Live Series 3 mixer, and I'm really confused about analog summing and if I should also buy a Dangerous Music 2-bus or a D-box along with the mixer. Does the Presonus Studio Live Series 3 have all the DNA analog goodness all by itself? I have no idea if I had the extra money to spend, what best to buy for a semi-pro home studio. We use real drums, bass, guitar, along with samples in our tracks. Really confused about the headroom. Thanks for your great videos, by the way. I really like them. Well, B, thanks for writing in. And this is an interesting question, because prior to the Series 3 mixer that I have, the 32-channel version, I was using a Universal Audio Apollo interface for the longest time with the Dangerous Music D-box and doing analog summing, and I swear by analog summing. And I know there's a debate on whether you need it or don't need it, or whether it makes a difference or doesn't. I'm not here to debate all that. I can tell you for myself, I liked using analog summing. When I got the Series 3 mixer, I sold my Universal Audio Apollo, and I also sold my D-box. Because I wanted to wait for the Studio Live to be able to do the surface control for Studio One. And the reason for that was I wanted to make sure that the routing of the inputs and the outputs, how that was all going to be affected with this new firmware update and the control of Studio One. Because currently, as I sit here today recording this video, in order to mix with the Studio Live Series 3 mixer, you have to do kind of a fancy workaround and routing to take the audio out of Studio One, into the mixer, back through the mixer, out back into Studio One, and print it on a print track. Now, I have a video on my YouTube channel on exactly how to do this, which is exactly the same as how you would do it when you route it through an analog summer, like a Dangerous Music D-box. But there's some other routing confusion that I have there myself, to be quite honest, and this is not the forum for me to try to answer that. It'd take way too long. What I can tell you is I started off, and I would recommend, start off with the Series 3 mixer. Once it's able to control Studio One and we get the firmware update, I'm going to see how I can integrate analog summing back in, because I'm going to get back to that as well. I don't think I'm going to use a D-box. I think I'm going to use, because that's only a 4 channel. I want to have, or it's an 8-channel, 4 stereo pairs. I want to step it up to probably the 2-bus. I think it's 2-bus plus, I think they call it, the newest one, which is 16 channels of summing as opposed to 8. But I want to be able to get the routing all set up properly in Studio One in the I/O screen in order to do that. And I'm going to go back to summing myself. Now, do you need to do that again? It's a big debate whether you need to do it. If you've never used analog summing before, it's something that I feel makes a difference. However, depending on where you are in your mixing and in your engineering career, in your experience level, I don't want you or anyone to think that analog summing is going to make a mix that doesn't sound very good because it's not mixed properly to sound like an amazing mix. And a lot of people have that misconception, a lot of beginners especially. Now, you say you have a semi-pro studio, so I might be telling you something you already know, and if so, I apologize. I'm really kind of speaking to other people that are watching this. Analog summing by itself is not going to make a bad mix sound great. what analog summing is going to do for you, it's going to give you some of that analog vibe and some of that analog color that we talk about a lot on my YouTube channel. Same as when you use these analog style plugins. And again, if you want to learn more about analog style plugin emulations, check out Mixing with Analog Style Plugins Made Easy on my website, and there's a 13-hour training course on all about that. So what I would say to you right now is go with the Series 3 mixer if you want the tactile feel mixing with a console. Let's wait for that firmware to come out. Let's get everything working with Studio One, and then I want to see how I'm going to integrate an analog summer into the Studio Live, because you have to make sure that you have physical outputs on the back of your Studio Live or any interface you use to go to the input side of your analog summer. Now on the Studio Series 3 mixer, they have these outputs, these flex mixes and such. And again, I'm just not too familiar with it yet. I know I'm kind of walking around the question a little bit, but what I want to tell you is if you want a Series 3 mixer, get that. Let's wait until the firmware comes out. Let's wait till we're mixing in Studio One as a control surface. I got to see how all the I/O is going to work, and then how and what physical outputs on the back of that Studio Live am I going to use to patch into any kind of an analog summer. And I want to be able to get all that routing correct. Once that's all done, then and I know that it can be done the way I think it can be done, kind of like it was done with my Apollo. Then I'm going to go ahead and probably buy a Dangerous Music, like I said, the 16-channel summer, because for me, personally, my own experience, I think it makes a difference to the overall sound. But you don't need it, and it's not something that's going to make a crappy mix sound great. So just keep that in mind, and I hope that answers your question, B. But if you want more clarification, or when this surface control and that new firmware comes out and everyone gets rolling with it and you get rolling with it, email me again, and maybe we can hook up on Skype or something and talk about analog summing, and I can talk you through it a little bit more. But I would say right this moment as we sit here, don't go out and buy a D-Box. Don't go out and buy anything that's analog summing. Go ahead and get the Series 3 mixer, get up and running with it, and then we'll add the analog summing after the fact if it makes sense. I think you will have a better D to A conversion using a summer, but it depends which one you buy. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, thanks again for writing in. Now let's head on over to question number 2. Okay, question number 2 comes in from Jordan, and Jordan writes in, "Hi David, first I want to say thank you for all you do. I found you on YouTube a few months ago, and I'm so glad I did. Your teaching style is perfect for someone who is still learning how to be better at mixing. Again, thank you." Well, thank you, Jordan. That's very kind of you. I appreciate the kind words, and thanks for following me, and I appreciate your support. My question is about your training courses, specifically the Made Easy courses. Which courses do you recommend for a beginner like myself? I have about 6 months of experience, and I just recently purchased my first audio interface, an Audio Box USB, which has Studio One Artist included. I want to learn how to record and then mix my song in Studio One. Thanks for your guidance, and I look forward to hearing from you, Jordan. Well, Jordan, that's great. Congratulations on getting your Audio Box USB and Studio One Artist. So, the Made Easy courses I would recommend for all my beginners. If you go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, go to the training courses page and just look for it in the navigation menu, and all the training courses will come up, and there's a video right at the top of the page of me walking you through how to filter through all my training courses. But what you'll see is underneath that video, there's a black box with some filters that you can filter out different types of products, so you don't have to look at all the products on one website page. And there is one there called Beginners 101, I believe it's called. Click on that box. It'll show you the 3 products that I recommend for someone like yourself, which is EQ Made Easy, Compression Made Easy, and Mixing Made Easy, Volume 1. Those 3 courses are like the beginning curriculum. I created that little package of stuff so you knew exactly what to buy for someone like yourself, because I get this question a lot. I'm not sure what to buy. So those are the 3 that I would buy. Now, if you're using Studio One Artist specifically, you can replace the Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 with Mixing in Presonus Made Easy, or Mixing in Presonus Studio One Made Easy. The difference between that and Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 is that in the Mixing with Presonus Studio One Made Easy, I spend a lot more time going through the functionality of Studio One itself. I'm using all stock plugins, so that could be helpful to you. Mixing Made Easy Volume 1, I'm also using Studio One, and I'm also using all stock plugins. However, I'm not spending as much time on the actual functionality of Studio One. I'm assuming that you have some of that experience already. So those two products, there are some overlap. Mixing in Presonus Studio One Made Easy and Mixing Made Easy Volume 1, but they're two different songs. You get two different sets of audio files, and there is a lot of information that's unique to each product. So if you want to buy all four, that would be the best way to go. But again, I'm not just trying to sell you a bunch of products. You definitely want EQ Made Easy and you want compression made easy, especially if you are new to mixing. As far as the mixing course itself, either Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 or Mixing in Presonus Studio One Made Easy. And then if you want to record stuff, if you're learning for recording in Studio One with your audio box, there's a course called Recording in Studio One Made Easy, where I take that actual audio box USB that you're speaking of, show you how to set it up in Studio One Artist, how to record a song from beginning to end, and then how to do a quick little mix on it, but we don't go in real depth on the mix on itself. So there's a handful of products for you that you could check out, and that will give you months worth of training to get yourself up and running in Studio One. So if you have any other questions, just send me an email and let me know what your questions are, and I'll help you even further. But that is what I would recommend for someone with your experience level and for where you are in your mixing and recording journey. Congratulations. Now get to making some great music. Now let's head on over to the last question of this episode, question number 3. Okay, question number 3 came in on YouTube, and I don't have the gentleman's name, and I really do apologize. They didn't leave their name. But anyhow, this is about Presonus plugins and the Guitar Amp Simulator plugin, Ampire. So they write in, "Hi David, first of all, I can't tell you how much I thank you for all your videos and your tutorial on YouTube channel for your website. The information you give us is so invaluable, and I really love your teaching method. Your Studio Biz series are gold, and I don't understand why you don't have more viewers." Well, thanks so much. It's really, really kind. The Studio Biz is a playlist on my YouTube channel that talks about how to really start and get up and running in your own home studio business where you take it from a hobby and make money. I'm going to create a more in-depth course on that later, probably in 2018, by the way, for anyone that wants to know how to go from a part-time hobby to a full-time business. I can have a course for you that you're going to really, really love. Stay tuned for that, but I appreciate the kind words. So thank you very much. On my side, I purchased Recording and Mixing in Studio One Made Easy, and I know I will learn a lot from these videos. I think I will purchase EQ and Compression bundle later on, as I really love your videos. Well, EQ and Compression, like I said in the last question, are the two most important out of all the series. If you're a beginner, EQ and Compression, you want those two first before you jump into anything else. But Recording and Mixing in Studio One, we just talked about that a few seconds ago in the last question again. Those two videos with EQ and Compression Made Easy, you have the playbook on how to get started recording and mixing in Studio One, and you don't need to buy anything else. You got it all right there. So congratulations, and let me know how you like those courses. Since I'm a beginner and about mixing and recording, I will follow your advice and learn to mix and record with Studio One stock plugins for at least 6 months or a year for my learning curve. In that purpose, I just want to know if you think we can achieve great semi-professional / professional metal / post-rock sounding using Presonus Ampire with the metal pack. Is Ampire enough to achieve this goal? Is it worth it to spend time on it? Do I have to buy another amp simulator like Amplitude, Guitar Rig, etc. for this purpose? Thanks a lot in advance for your answer. However, I really understand if you don't want to answer this question for free. Thanks a lot again for all your great content and work. Keep it up. You're a really great guy. Well, thank you so much. I wish I knew your name. I wish you would have left your name. From France. The gentleman's from France. Or it's a lady from France, not sure. But thank you so much again. Of course, I'll answer the question for free. That's what I'm here for. You send me a question, I'm going to try to answer it for you in this video format to try to, it's a little easier than answering in an email. So basically, you said a lot of great things about my training courses. Thank you so much. I love you for that. And your real question is about getting great guitar tones, metal guitar tones with the stock plugin Ampire and using the metal pack. Here's my take on, now, The short answer is yes. Like you alluded to, use all the stock plugins for 6 months or a year before you start getting into third-party plugins, especially with compressors and EQs and stuff. You're absolutely on the right track. Use the courses that you purchased, learn how to use those stock plugins. After about 6 months, a year, when you're ready to make that jump, hit me up again and I'll introduce you to what would be next, the next step in your journey. Metal Pack and Ampire is a free plugin. The Metal Pack is very inexpensive. I think it's less than $100. I would tell you try that first because I don't know what you consider to be professional or semi-professional guitar tones. Can you get decent guitar tones using the Metal Pack? You could get passable guitar tones. Are they the best out there? Is Ampire, is that a great amp sim? I'll be honest with you, I don't particularly like it. I've used it. Compared to what else is on the market, I don't think it stands up. I think it's a great free plugin. I think it's great for demos, and I think it's great for getting ideas down. And I'm sure if you tweaked and spent time with Ampire, you may get something that would be acceptable to you. So that is the cheapest way to go, is to try it. I would tell you try it. I haven't spent extensive time with the Metal Pack specifically. Ampire in general, I'm not a fan of. Amp Sims, software, guitar sims, I'm not a big fan of. With the exception of the Universal Audio stuff, their Marshall stuff, their Friedman stuff, their Fender stuff is outstanding. I would still prefer, especially if you're doing lots of guitar recording, to use a real guitar amp. Now, if that's not possible and you want to have lots of different guitar tones and you have the budget, what would be the unit that I would use that's not really a plugin? I would use a Kemper Profiler, which I did have before it died on me, and that was a fluke. I'm sure the quality is really good. If you want multiple guitar tones in your studio and you do lots of guitar recording and volume is an issue, miking up cabinets is an issue, not having tons of great guitar heads or amps to be able to use in your recordings is an issue, the Kemper is excellent. I've never used an Axe Effects. I have toyed around with the Line 6 the Helix, which is a decent processor as well. I still think the Kemper is the best of the group. That's my own personal opinion. I'm sure the haters will leave the comments below, okay? And I have experience with the Kemper. But you're talking about plugins. So I would say that out of all the plugins I've tried, software, I like the Universal Audio stuff the best. Guitar Rig, okay, not bad. Presonus Ampire, not great, in my opinion. But based on where you're at in your journey, and to try to save you a little bit of money, I would say try the Metal Pack. The Metal Pack's inexpensive, see what you get. If you can't get any good guitar tones out of it, or what's considered good guitar tones for you, then I would say maybe Guitar Rig would probably be. Amplitude's another one that I've never really tried, but I know it's really popular. I would say go on YouTube and search around and see what people are using in the software world. If you don't want to step up and get a Universal Audio interface where you can get their guitar plugins, I think those are the best ones. But again, that could be an expensive journey as well. So I guess what I'm saying to you is you got to try this stuff and see what it is. Being a guitar player myself and doing lots of guitar recording, I'm not a big fan of plugins. And again, I know people will that can make great guitar sounds out of some of these different plugins. I've never really been able to achieve that. I've always would prefer to use an amp, a real amp. But if that's not possible and I was going to do lots of guitar recording in my studio, I would get a Kemper all day long. It's worth the investment all day long. And you'll have every guitar tone you could ever want, and they sound authentic as authentic can be. And you can get some great guitar tones. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I wish I knew your name, and I know that you're from France. And thanks for writing in. And if you have any more questions or you want to get a little bit more in depth, shoot me an email. I'll try to help you out a little bit further. Congratulations on all the training courses. Let me know if you have any questions with that, and let me know how you like that stuff as well, because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. So that is it for this episode of Questions and Coffee with David. Again, if you want one of your questions answered, send it to info@homerecordingmadeeasy.com and I will put it in the video. Also go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, and I forgot to say at the beginning, go to learningtomix.com if you really want to learn how to mix and get better at mixing and join a community of like-minded recording engineers, home recording musicians at every skill level. Head out to learningtomix.com. Check out what I have going on over there with my good buddy Pete Woj from mixbetternow.com. Ton of mixing training every single month. Great group of people. You will absolutely get better at the craft of mixing if you spend a couple of months over at learningtomix.com and apply the education. I absolutely guarantee that. So until the next video, this has been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com and learningtomix.com, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.